bitch. Fuck that bitch.
Okay, we are live.
I don't have any friends in this world. Just a fucking pile of rats.
See, it's doing the thing again.
I'm turning the volume off on my phone first.
Yeah. Oh, God.
Fuck that bitch.
Share.
Fuck that bitch. Oh, wow. Look at that thumbnail. That's great.
Oh, yeah, that's pretty dope. Yeah.
Shush. Just like
Post
and
okay,
share
I posted it
to my.
And now I go to Twitter.
Share it now.
I did.
Dude, I forgot about the double push.
Yeah, it's the doubly. It's the Hold on, Liberty line. Retweet.
Liberty Bibberty.
Retweet.
This is
like,
so hard.
And send via direct message to the group. Pew. Okay, let's do it. We got 12 people in here.
Let's do it.
3, 2, 1. Philly!
Hello, everybody. Hello, Philadelphia. Welcome back once again to yet another edition of the Wolves of Broad Street podcast. As always, my name is Ryan Conway, and joining me here is my illustrious co-host and wartime consigliere, Sam Glavin. And, of course, we have our producer behind the glass, Seamus G., producing the show, pulling the strings, chopping up the highlights, the clips, etc., etc. Boy, oh boy, it's been honestly a bit more of a palatable week of Philly sports recently, and it's been really easy. It's been much easier on the eyes than it has in weeks past. Am I wrong, Sam?
No, but it's a pretty freaking low bar. I mean,
yeah, right.
So it's been, it was a decent week. I mean, I didn't pay too much attention to the Sixers, unfortunately. I got a lot of stuff. We got a lot of balls in the air right now, if you know what I'm saying, Ryan. But yeah, they look to be okay. I mean, they're just average. Like they're average. So, but the Eagles, they kind of crushed it this past weekend, which is pretty cool. I mean, they were playing the Lions, but it's whatever. It's like dubs.
Dubs are important. And we got a lot of dubs. It was a winning weekend. And Sam, like we said last week, we teased the announcement a little bit. But, for those of you joining us who like to bet on sports, the Liberty Line is going to be your one-stop shop for all kinds of betting content. Of course, presented by Park Sportsbook, our newest partner. And best part is, folks, if you're a listener here of the Wolves of Broad Street podcast, you can log in to Park Sportsbook. Use the code WOLVES69. Throw in a minimum deposit of $25. That's not in the promo or anything. It just helps us out. And it's going to help you out, too, because you're going to win a lot of money. They got some great odds boost. And we're very excited. Partnership only kicked off on Monday. And I still can't believe they let Wolves69 even be a code. The fact that Drew and Vic went to bat for us, the fact that, the people at Parks, really see the creative vision that we here at the Wolves of Broad Street have, now and for the future, Sam. It's really fantastic. Have anything to say about either the code or, how we got to this point or how you're feeling right now about this deal with Parks?
Well, we're still here, which is good, because if we didn't get that code, we were going to walk, because I really wanted that code. It was, but I'm glad, it's a good partnership overall. I think people are going to win some money. And hopefully, you spread the word of the Wolves of Broad Street podcast along with it, which is just a win-win-win situation.
Everybody's winning.
It's gonna be good. Yeah,
everybody's winning. And if you go on now, your first bet, this is not contingent on how much you put into the account, but your first bet is free up to $500.
Yeah.
Up to $500. Not free. You don't just log in and get a free $500. It's not how it works. Up to $500. If you bet it and lose it, you get it back, and that's that. That's how it goes. And I still think that's a great deal. I personally am going to do all $500 because that's the maximum.
Yeah,
I'm not going to do all $500. No. If I could gamble with T-shirts, I absolutely would. I'd be a rich man. But outside of that, check out Park Sportsbook. Go download the app. If you're in Pennsylvania, just set it up. I mean, what's the worst that can happen? Throw a little money on the Sixers. Live bet the Sixers right now. It's a little close against the Bulls. A little close down the stretch against the hot Bulls. The Balzac tearing it up. Hottest team in the league right now. DeMar DeRozan, Lonzo Ball, and, of course, Zach LaVine, the Balzac. So
the Balzac.
I like that. We'll get to the Sixers. We'll get to the Balzac. We'll get into everything with the Sixers in a bit. But, Sam, Love that we have Parks, but also really did love the performance out of the Eagles this past Sunday. And I think that there was one thing that really stood out in terms of our offensive output. If I feel like you know what I'm talking about here.
Yeah, if you're talking about the run game, then that's absolutely what I'm thinking of. I thought they ran the ball extremely well. It was very effective. It's almost like when you run the football, it gives your defense a break, and you just keep giving the ball to the hot guy, right? To the Boston Scott. It was that the week you stepped up big time. Also, Jordan Howard, who was just somehow on our practice squad for 6
Unreal.
weeks or whatever. That was just unbelievable. Yeah, Miles Sanders not getting those touches right now just because he's injured right now, nursing that injury. So hopefully he'll be back by the end of the season, and hopefully the run game will still be as effective as it was this past week against the Lions. But yeah, that's what happens. When you run the football, it takes the pressure off a young quarterback, and it helps him succeed as well. And I thought Jalen Hurts played pretty well as well. And yeah, it's just look at that. I mean, you look at the stats right here that Seamus Shee's got pulled up for us. 44 points. That does the job pretty much every time. No fumbles, right? 350 total yards, 114 passing yards, 236 rushing yards. That's the biggest difference right there. And 5.6 yards per play. It's awesome.
Yeah, it was again a breath of fresh air, like I said before, because we've seen, excuse me, a really pass happy offense without a lot of designed runs. And when we were running the football, we were not handing it to Miles Sanders or one of our other talented running backs. We were, having Jalen Hurts run an RPO and tuck and run. But Sam, I will say this: as great as the run game was, and as great as it was that it took pressure off of Jalen Hurts, even without the pressure, I was not impressed with Jalen Hurts really much, like really at all. This is against the Lions. This is a bad football team. I mean, 9 for 14. He did fine. He did what I think pretty much any quarterback in the league could do when given, those kinds of opportunities. Obviously, difference maker on the ground, but I wasn't really blown away. And it was good that we had Boston Scott, who just kind of came out of nowhere. We had two guys that I didn't expect to be the main guy when Miles Sanders went down. I expected, Kenny Gainwell, who was getting the bulk of the touches, even with Miles on the roster. Now it's all very different. And now we're seeing, like you said, Boston Scott. It's great. And look, our corporate overlord, design tree here. 9 and 14. Or 9 for 14. That's 14 passing attempts.
Yeah.
14 passing attempts. I mean, that's not – I just don't see – you can't say he had a bad game, but you can't really be impressed in any way.
No, I mean, I just thought that it was just nice to see that
he didn't lose us anything.
Yeah, exactly. It was just nice to see that Jalen Hurts, and I think the biggest thing for me was with Jalen Hurts, he didn't feel like, or it didn't look like, at least, it didn't feel like he needed to put the team on his back and, make all these plays, which is what he's been doing in the past, right? So he's had all this pressure. Nick Sirianni's been putting on him. He's got to make every single play. He's involved in every single play. But as soon as you take that off, he puts up, decent numbers. I mean, obviously, you're not getting blown away by these numbers, but these are numbers that'll win you a game.
Yeah, exactly.
As long as the run game, as long as the run game's working.
When you're running for over 200 yards, absolutely, that's a huge game changer. It's really what this team has needed, because Jalen Hurts just doesn't have that arsenal in terms of arm talent to just make every play, make every throw, and then also have to run. So it was nice to see him, kind of take that pressure off of Jalen Hurts. But even in the limited times where Jalen Hurts had to drop back to pass, there were a couple moments where I'm seeing him run out of a completely clean pocket. And I'm seeing him really struggle with just facing an average pass rush against an offensive line that he really has no reason not to trust. Carson Wentz last season, when he was running around holding on to the football for too long, there was a point he lost faith in the O-line, and he had every right to, because we had 15 combinations in 16 weeks, or 14 and 16, something crazy like that. This has been more or less the same unit in front of him. We got all our best guys back, and he's not getting hurried a lot. I mean, he didn't get sacked, but there are times where he's just in the pocket, and instead of looking for anybody downfield, he's looking and then just doing a full 360. He's done this 5 times now this season, where drops back to pass and then just does a full spin. And I'm like, what are you doing turning your back? You should never turn your back to the pass rush. And he's done that multiple times now. And it's one thing if the guy gets up around behind you or, as he's coming on your blind side, but you shouldn't turn around and make the entire direction you're trying to go your blind side. And it happens far too. And then he ends up scrambling for 6 yards and everyone's like, oh, that's great. Or even if he runs for a first down, like, oh, that's great. He got the first down. That's ultimately going to help the team in this game. But in terms of the habits you want your young quarterback to develop, I don't know if it's the coaching that is not helping him succeed or if it's, there's a cap on what he's able to do under center. But there are, regardless of the resounding win against the worst team possibly ever, could be the first team to go 0-17. Could be the first team to go 0-17.
That's true.
They don't look like they're beating anybody.
Yeah, I don't know who's on the rest of their schedule, but they looked pretty bad, which is why I'm not trying to get too high on this win. I thought after the win, I was like, okay, I'm just gonna bring myself down now. It was just the Lions. They got nobody on defense, they got nobody on offense. Jared Goff stinks. He's just like
he's bad.
Yeah, I'd probably put him in my top 5 worst number 1 overall picks. Like, he's, in terms of the NFL, I think he is pretty poor. And the Rams, they barely even gave him a shot because they were just like, oh, we just screwed the pooch on this one. Give him away.
They're like, we got to the Super Bowl and scored 3 points in the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Uh-oh. That's bad.
Not great.
Yeah, so he's not a good quarterback, and we owned him. We owned him. We owned that offensive line. The struggles of Penei Sewell. I don't know how to say his name because we didn't draft him. But, he's still not looking good. And our guys feasted. Everybody got in the mix. Josh Sweat had a couple. We had Hassan Ridgeway getting in there. Even Fletcher Cox was in there making plays. And then also Javon Hargrave. So our whole defensive line was out there really working for it and really making things happen and really making things difficult. And then our offense was finally able to capitalize on it.
Yeah.
But
that's
still,
the biggest thing.
Still, man, I mean, obviously you take a look at the score. What was it? 44 to 6?
Yeah.
Jesus Christ. That's hilarious. 44 it's like one of the biggest margins of victory in like an Eagles game ever. I'm pretty sure. I can't back that up, but it's like Monday Night Massacre level bad for the other team. But even in all the positives, obviously our corners look solid. Avonte Maddox is really coming into his own and is playing it. If not an all-pro level, a Pro Bowl possible consideration at the cornerback spot for the NFC. He is that good. He is that good right now, in my humble opinion. And so we have great guys up front, and we've got the back end of our defense is solidified. Steven Nelson still stinks, but whatever. You live and you learn. We went and we got Tay Gowan for Zach Ertz. We got this other guy, Kerry Vincent Jr. from the Bucks for like nothing. So we've got corner depth, so we can move that to the side. The linebackers. Dude. I hate that to still be harping on this, but they cut Eric Wilson. Is that his name?
Wow, did they really? I didn't.
Yeah, Eric Wilson. They cut him either today or yesterday.
Wow.
And he was basically just the Zach Brown of this year, just the linebacker that has been decent throughout his career, but then he came to Philly and was horrible. And I'm glad that we just cut him and let him go because there was no reason to have that guy on the roster at all. It was really bad. It was really bad. And hopefully we can do something with it now.
I don't know. I don't know what to do with this linebacking core because Singleton is still awful. I liked Singleton. I liked Singleton as one of the leaders this year coming into this defense.
We were very high on him coming in this year.
Yeah, he was. I mean, last year he was all over the football field making tackles. I mean, just acting like a crazy person. Now he's just acting like a crazy person who just doesn't know what the hell he's doing. I don't know he's ranked last in pretty much every category in the linebacker from a linebacking standpoint, which is absolutely nuts. I can't believe that we do stink. So I was going to say, I can't believe we just beat the Lions by 40 points and our linebackers are this bad. But
that's the way it goes.
They suck.
That was the only way they ever got yards against us was with their tight ends or with people pretty much covered by linebackers. I mean, granted, Jared Goff can't throw to the outside of the field. He's terrible. But I think only one at least up until like midway through the fourth quarter, only one Lions wide receiver had any yards. It was all tight ends and running backs. It was all check downs and, short stuff over the middle when they're covered by linebackers. So obviously, like, even when a team is struggling and can't get anything going offensively, they know that they can at least bank on getting a couple yards against the Eagles linebackers.
Yeah, I mean, it's that's what happened against the Raiders, right? I mean, Darren Waller's out. And this guy comes in and he's a backup. I don't even remember his name. That's like irrelevant. He was, but he had a career game against the Eagles just because the linebackers stink and they can't cover anybody. So I guess you could say they did their job enough against the Lions where we still beat them by a sizable margin. So I don't know, man.
Yeah, here's the thing. It doesn't matter. It doesn't really matter in the context of the one game. And people will say, Ryan, why are you so mad still? Why are you still, being an asshole about the Eagles? Didn't they win? Didn't they blow out their opponent? Yeah, they did, but fuck it, dude. It was the Lions. It was the Lions. They're terrible. They're terrible. They're so bad. It's so horrible.
Yeah, and there's no doubt in my mind. This season is just a wash. I mean, the Eagles suck. They suck. The Dallas Cowboys are going to go and win the division. They're like actually an okay football team.
Yeah, they're pretty good. Not even going to sit here in front.
Yeah, pains me to say, but they are a pretty good. They're a pretty good football team. So I mean, at this point, it's just us watching, and seeing what happens. Like trying not to get blown out too bad. Yeah, which is like the worst way to watch football. But I guess it's
that's pretty much that's what we need to look for, in this season, unless barring some, because I mean, as we talked about, the back half of the schedule really does lighten up. It really is gonna, because like this team could end up sneaking in somewhere and making some kind of run, some kind of improbable run, just with the ease of schedule moving forward. I don't think so. But just assuming that doesn't happen, which I think is pretty safe to assume, we just got to look to see what young guys are developing, what the kind of culture is. And, if guys are bought into this head coach, because if we lose, but guys come out of the year and we see them on the sidelines, like really, happy to be there and with good interactions with their coach, as far as we can tell. And there's only so much we can, tell about these situations. But as long as we don't have a Marcus Smart complaining about his teammate situation here in Philly on our football team, we should be fine, right?
Yeah, I think so. I'm not fully. I know this is Philadelphia, right? This is Philadelphia sports, and everybody's calling as soon as like 3 weeks into the season. Everybody's calling for Nick Sirianni's head. Everybody's calling for Jalen Hurts' head. I'm not. We're how many games in now? I'm still not at that point yet.
What is this? 8 games?
I don't know, 8 games maybe. It's tough to keep track when your record is bad. Yeah, 8 games.
When you suck, it's just not fun.
Yeah, it is. We're 8 games into the season, right? So what is that? That puts us at 3-5 at this point, which is correct math. This is it's a growing pain here. I mean, you got a quarterback who's never played more than 4 at the start of the year, never played in more than 2 to 4 games of his NFL career. And you got a new coach who hasn't been a head coach in the NFL in forever or at all. I just have a very hard time checking out on guys halfway through the season. They have no other chance to prove themselves. Like I want to give these guys some more time.
This is my approach there is like, all right, if you improve from here, then we can have a conversation about next year. But if Jalen Hurts continues to be the 9-14, confused in the pocket against the worst team in football for the next 8 games, I'm willing to give him the full season. I'm in no fucking hurry. I mean, what are we going to do? Bring Gardner Minshew and win the Super Bowl? Absolutely not. That's not how that works. I mean, we might, but like, you never know. But probably not. So, look, I mean, I'm not like, get him out, play Minshew. Yeah. Why'd we trade Flacco? This is ridiculous. Like, no, I'm not there yet. I'm not fire Sirianni.
No.
But, yeah, it's something that's we're going to have to wait and see for sure. But if Jalen Hurts continues to look the exact same throughout the rest of the year, I know you can't change and turn around so much in 8 years, but if he looks this he looks this bad the rest of the year, in my opinion. I mean, I've seen some quality quarterback play in Philadelphia over the years, and I've seen some bad quarterback play, and this is bad. This is straight up bad. So
Yeah, it's
we'll
not
have to
great.
see. And I we've talked about, and I still love Jalen Hurts. He still has my full
Yeah.
support. He is an incredible, guy, but is he an incredible football player? That's what we're gonna have to find out. And
True.
hopefully, the coaching staff can put him in a position to succeed. Get him throwing the ball to fucking Devontae Smith more.
Yeah.
And then maybe this team can be successful. But until
where
then,
was he? Where was he against the Lions?
He
put up 44
I
points and he wasn't even involved.
I just don't see how, like, your number one draft pick and arguably the best player on your team, at least on the offensive side of the ball, is not getting more touches. And I think part of it is, especially on Sunday, just because we ran the football, but even so, even 9 and 15, yeah, he had one catch for 15 yards.
Mm-hmm.
This is the best player on our team. Feed him the football. And part of it is touches, part of it is not enough plays called for him, not enough passing plays in general on Sunday, but also part of it is the fact that I guarantee you, I mean, I don't know if people saw that Odell Beckham Jr. tape where Baker Mayfield isn't throwing him the ball even though he's open because he doesn't see him or he's missing him.
Yeah.
There's a little bit of that going on with Jalen Hurts here as well because of he's seeing ghosts, a la Sam Darnold doing a fucking spin cycle in the backfield.
Yeah.
So that's the way it goes.
Well, even if it's Devontae Smith is such an athlete. I mean, you don't have to throw the ball downfield 50 yards for him every time. You just get him involved somehow. You do a little jet sweep or something. He's an athlete. Get him the ball. He's going to make plays. He's not going to. Obviously, he's not the biggest guy in the world, but he's in the NFL for a reason. Because he's a playmaker, right? He makes plays. So just find some creative way to get him the ball. It doesn't have to be a 20-yard throw every time. It's just you just have to get him the ball. Physically give him the ball.
Yeah.
And the ball
once he has it in his hands, let him make a play.
It's as simple as that. I mean, you have to get him experience too. Like if this is just going to be a rookie year where he's not going to put up the strongest numbers. I know we were calling, rookie of the year and stuff. I never fully expected that out of him. I just wanted him, get his touches, which he's not getting right now, and grow and be our number one wide receiver for years and years to come. But you can't do that if you're not getting the ball in the fucking game.
Absolutely not.
Yeah.
And I mean, I don't know what the situation there's going to be. I mean, especially now with Jalen Reagor going down for an unknown period of time.
Mm-hmm.
Someone I've always tried to support. Just another knock against him that the fan base is going to just run with, just wreck him for.
He wasn't even having a bad year.
He was having a decent year.
He had a decent year.
Some stuff called back because he got pushed out of bounds.
Yep.
And then he almost scored that touchdown, and he the shitty Ford Field turf comes flying up, and he can't get there, and then he hurts himself.
Mm-hmm.
So that's tough. There's just but at the same time, that might, open up a congested wide receiving core and see who we got. If I don't know if we got any guys in the practice squad, we might want to take a look at, or if that's just more time for Devontae Smith to, be out on the field and more opportunities for him to get to football. I mean, I hate to be like that with Jalen Reagor, but it's just kind of reality of the situation there.
It's the NFL, man. Go big or go home. Not for long. Not for long. That's for sure.
Yeah, man. It's difficult. And we are going to go up against the Chargers. We'll do a quick little Chargers preview here. The Chargers, in my opinion, I think they're in shambles right now, Sam. As a Justin Herbert / Austin Eckler fantasy owner, I do have a bit of insight. And they've been down. There was some Justin Herbert MVP conversation the first 4 weeks of the year. Some Austin Eckler best back in the league conversation first few weeks of the year. But now they've definitely regressed. Regressed. Their offensive line is not, I would not call it an elite line, and I would call our defensive line elite, especially if we're up against an average line.
True.
So I do think that in that regard, that's going to be a way that we can punish the Chargers and make things difficult for them when they have the ball. But alternatively, their defense is really fucking good in all three spots.
Yeah.
From, secondary, linebacker, D-line. They've got a Bosa. They've got the first Bosa, Joey. They got who else they got? They got Derwin James and a host of other guys that can really make life difficult for our receivers. So it's gonna be a good game, in my opinion. For the first time in a while, an Eagles-Chargers game might actually be a decent game.
Well, I'm shocked to hear you so positive because I'm on the absolute opposite end of the spectrum there. Because what better game to turn your season around than against the fucking Philadelphia Eagles, who are terrible. So that's where I'm at. That's where I'm at right now. I think the Chargers are going to absolutely go 180 degrees against our Birds, and pretty much just put their nuts on the table and say we're still here, and we just kick the crap out of a bad team because the Eagles are a bad team.
That they
And
are.
yeah, I don't see the offense getting anything going against this defense, especially not with Joey Bosa on the line, who's going to be a defensive player of the year. Did he already win a defensive player of the year or no?
I don't have the stats there.
I don't think so. He will win one at some point.
He's a very good player.
He's
He's one of those guys.
nice.
His name will be in the conversation for years and years, as it already has been. I do have one question. Seamus G, do you know if this is a home game or not?
Well,
Or either one of you guys, it's a home game.
it is
All
home
right,
game,
so that is going to be good. That is going to be good. It's because the Chargers aren't used to playing in front of fans, so that's definitely
True.
definitely gonna help.
It would have been a home game regardless because apparently there's a huge fan base for. Well, that was San Diego, so I don't know how that transition worked out.
Was that in San Diego or was that in LA? They played at the LA Galaxy Stadium in Carson City. Or something like that.
Right.
So
Maybe
it was like an LA suburb. But regardless, Southern California, San Diego, LA are very close.
It's always been Philly West out in Chargers
Philly
country for some reason.
LA.
Yeah.
It's hilarious. Only place that it may not be for a baseball game. If the Phillies go to LA, the Dodgers are probably, fill the stands there with their fans. But when it comes to LA's never been a football town. It's never been a football town. Last time it was a football town is when the Raiders were there.
Yep.
So that's that. Sam, you have a score prediction for this Chargers?
I do.
Game?
Yeah, it's going to be 28-7 Chargers.
Jesus Christ. Really, dude?
Yeah, dude. We're not going to get anything going on offense. We'll be lucky if we get 7 points, to be honest. The way Jalen Hurts is playing and the way because you just know they're going to go right back to passing every fucking play. Even though it worked, even though the run game worked,
gave him a stern talking to after the game. It's like, how dare you run the ball that many fucking times?
Yeah. So 28-7 Chargers.
I'm going the opposite direction. I'm going a bit of a shootout here. 30-24 Philadelphia Eagles.
Get out of here, man.
30-24, baby.
No way.
Go Birds.
Go
Birds. Go Birds. That's what I'm talking about. Yeah. And you know what else we're going to talk about, Sam? We're going to talk about things that made us a little mad. Made us a little angry. Yeah. You know what we're going to do? We're going to go head right into the doghouse. Brought to you by Wide Plank Floor Supply. Visit their website at www.wideplankfloorsupply.com. Get a recommendation for a contractor. Get a quote. Wide Plank Floor Supply. If it's wide, they've got it. Samuel L. Glavin. What do we got? What do we got in the doghouse?
I've got the leader of the free world in the doghouse, and it's Joe Biden.
Oh, I thought it would be Xi Jinping. I'm sorry. Different free world.
Different free world. Yeah. Joe Biden. I don't know if anybody else saw the clips on Twitter and whatnot, but our fearless leader fell asleep at the UN convention, which is there's a lot to unpack here. So let's just dive right in. You are the president of the world's leading superpower, and you go to a conference with every other leader of every other leader of the countries in the world. And we're talking about some pretty spicy stuff, right? We're talking, maybe how to prevent war. Let's solve, maybe we can do something about world poverty or world hunger, stuff like that. And our janky old man just decides to, doze off. Didn't have his cup of coffee. And he's sleeping at this massive conference. Whoa. What does that say about first of all, what does that say about you as a person? You don't care enough about the world, and you're just gonna sit there and fall asleep while some Bulgarian guy is talking about how to maybe fix some problems in the world. It's just a bad look. Like I don't care. I don't care how boring how boring this can get. Like you get in there, take some notes, and maybe solve some fucking problems along the way.
Maybe worth it. Nah, yeah, dude. Like that is it's a nice idea. It's a nice idea, but yeah, I would just rather he not fall asleep. Would rather he not fall asleep at it. But then again, I mean, like at the same time, you just take a look at all these jagaloons that gathered in Rome for the G20 summit. Like, did you see them? Did you see? We're not doing that. Dude, we're not. No. But did you see them all lined up at the Trevi Fountain with their fucking euro coins, and they fucking flip them? If there's one thing that everybody should know about the direction of this world and the way that we're all headed, it's that the leaders of the 20 most influential countries in the world are trying to Lizzie McGuire their way out of a climate crisis. They're trying to flip a coin into a fountain, hop on a moped with like a cute, mysterious Italian man, and just hope the Maldives aren't underwater in 5 years. That's the whole plan. That's the whole plan. So at the same time, if that's what you're there to do, you're there to just dick around with some coins and throw it in the. This is ridiculous.
This is getting ridiculous.
Going on in the chat here.
Yeah,
but it's just they're just trying to just say like that was basically the you remember the Imagine video that all the celebrities sang at like the start of COVID when everybody was dying. It's like one of those. It's like, imagine you're in French Polynesia and you see that. You're like, oh, glad they're really fucking concerned. Like, I'm glad they're taking every possible step. And we're not getting political. We're not. We're not getting This is in no way political. This is
just getting mad at our fearless leader and for falling asleep at a very, very important.
He has night terrors, actually. Conference. He actually had a nightmare at the UN.
Probably. Yeah. I'm sure you could shake him. At least that would wake him up. I mean, fuck.
I'm just imagining him like waking up and like screaming like Barack. All right, this is a Philly sports podcast, so
Ryan, who do you have?
Oh my God, I've got the Southeastern Pennsylvania Transport Authority, also better known as SEPTA.
Good, more government.
That's shove awesome. It up your ass, SEPTA. I hate you. I hate you so much. So I take SEPTA to and from Temple, to get to and from the suburbs on the regional rail. And first of all, just the design of SEPTA is horrible. The hub and spokes, so just you in and out of the city, can't get anywhere else along here. It just makes no sense. But outside of that, every day my train's at least 5 minutes late. Some days it just doesn't fucking come. And someone's saying I hate SEPTA, but I push climate propaganda. No, I hate SEPTA because it could be run more efficiently. And more people would take public transportation if it actually fucking worked. If instead of at 8:40 when my train's supposed to come, a fucking freight train is coming through the regional rail station, and then my train just never shows up, and I have to Uber home from North Philly to that's money out of my pocket that I'm not willing to spend. That's gas in a car that I don't want to burn, but here we are. So SEPTA, figure it out. Figure it out. Just figure it out. Like, you said ridership is down. Every time I'm on the train, it's past fucking ass to elbows in there. It is packed. So I don't know what you're talking about. Just fix it. Yeah. Make it better. Do better. Invest in our city's infrastructure. And maybe it just wouldn't crumble. But I don't know. That's just me.
Totally fair. Totally fair. Don't you just love the way, that government operations run? It's just, especially in this country, it's great. I love it. It's going really well.
Legalize corruption.
Sure.
Amazing. No, I'm not saying to legalize it. I'm saying it's already legal. But that's neither here nor there, Sam. That was the Doghouse, brought to you by Wide Plank Floor Supply. Visit their website at www.wideplankfloorsupply.com. Get a recommendation for a contractor. Get a quote. Wide Plank Floor Supply. If it's wide, they've got it. Looking to bribe a government official? Get them a new floor from Wide Plank Floor Supply. They'll love it. They'll pass any legislation you ask. That's how good the fucking floors are. Sam, it's time to talk a little Sixers.
Oh, is it that time?
It is that time to talk a little Sixers. And just real quick, I'm going to check the score of this Bulls game. Oh, did we get the dub? Oh, yeah. By
Yeah,
5 points
dub.
over the Chicago Bulls, over the Bulls, the hottest team in
Dub.
the NBA right now. I mean, that's just, or at least they were. They were the only 6-win team coming into the night, and
Mhm.
we changed that. I'm sure there's another 6-win team, or at least now they have 2 losses. I didn't get to see a ton of the game, which is unfortunate because we were doing most of the show, and I was also doing other stuff, because I have a
Mhm.
life. But just in terms of the Sixers this year, man, it's been good to watch. I mean, definitely the whole Ben Simmons cloud hanging over everything has sapped me of some of my enthusiasm for the basketball season. But I have seen some encouraging performances, especially after tonight with Joel Embiid on the floor without Tobias Harris still, who's unfortunately going to miss, I think, 10 days because he tested positive
Yeah.
for COVID, even though he's vaccinated, which is just a bummer that it's a 10-day holdout. But
Mhm.
we're gonna get to see a lot of our young guys in minutes and see what we're doing, and
Yeah.
it's good. It's good. Did you catch any of the game against the Trailblazers, or about the goings on of what happened with that?
Ish. I know that the fans were pretty hard on Damian Lillard, which is pretty funny. And then after the fact, Damian Lillard,
Hard on him. The
no,
opposite
not
of
hard on
hard.
no, not hard, but
Like
like
they
they
had
were
a
they
hard
were
on
harping on
for
him.
him. Like
Yes, yes.
they had a hard on
Yeah,
for him. Yeah.
that makes more sense. Let's go with that. And then after the fact, they get Damian Lillard, just the good dude that he is. He's like, yeah, no, I'm just gonna stay in Portland. Like it's all good.
Mhm.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, you can say that to the press, but we all know what you're thinking. We
Yeah,
all know what you think. You want to come play some winning basketball, and you want to win a championship, and there's
he
no better
does.
place for you than the city of Philadelphia. So
And he did
I'm
acknowledge
still
the
I'm still
brotherly
riding
love.
the Damian Lillard. I'm still riding the Damian Lillard train. I like him a lot. He's
How are we gonna get Damian Lillard here,
I
Sam?
don't know. Fucking figure it out. Just do it. Just do
No.
it.
No, dude, we have fucking George's Nyang.
That's awesome, dude.
That's all we
Does that guy
need, man.
stink or what? Is he like any good? I
No,
haven't been
no,
really.
no,
No,
no.
I
He
didn't think
doesn't
so.
stink. He doesn't stink. I'll tell you this. I'll tell you this about the Sixers. This is how I'm feeling about the Sixers here. I have hopes for this season. I mean, how can you not?
Yeah,
But I think some people are getting a little too excited about what this team is and what this team can be in this early in the season.
yeah,
We did return a lot of guys from last year and we got some improved pieces, but I still don't know what this team can do without Ben Simmons. And I don't think that, even though we were missing our 2 best players, Tobias Harris and Joel Embiid, that beating a Trailblazers team that just came off that just came off a back-to-back, or this is the second night of their back-to-back,
hmm
beating them, at home is not really the most impressive win in at the start of week 3 of the regular season in the NBA. It's a win, and wins are important. You got to play to win the games. But I just do think Sixers Twitter is getting a little excited over pretty much not nothing, but it's just like, oh wow, yeah, your favorite role player scored 20. Like, is there a point where it's like I don't give a fuck anymore? Like maybe like our role players should fill roles when our players are hurt. Like we should have guys that can do that, and the fact that we do is good. But let's just all hold on because this is the regular season and it's week 3. We're going to be doing this until April. It is
yeah,
November. Let's all just pump the brakes and watch what this team can do, especially without Ben Simmons, and see if we can get something back for him. God knows he's not going to join the team, so we got to move him or something.
yeah,
But it's an interesting team to watch, and Tyrese Maxey at point guard 1 is an experiment.
yeah. It is.
And some nights it works, sometimes, some nights it doesn't.
hmm So you brought up the role players, and now they stepped up. While 2 of our best players are out, which is all fine and dandy. But role players are supposed to be role players regardless of who's playing and who's not playing. So I would like to see the role players, do maybe contribute while our good players are
Doesn't
on the
hurt.
court. I feel like that's a recipe for some winning basketball, And
I would say so.
I'm not a basketball guy. We all know this. Everybody who listens to the shows knows that I don't like the NBA and I hate the Sixers just as much. But yeah, I would like to see the role players step up. Little boys. Yep, thanks, Seamus. I was waiting for that. Yep, and the thing with the Sixers for me right now, and the very like maybe I've watched like half the games or something. they don't seem to have an identity. They just seem to throw the ball to Joel Embiid and do his thing, which is all fine and dandy, but that's not going to work, coming down the stretch. So guys are going to figure out Embiid later. Never mind. I'm not going to say that. They're never going to figure out Embiid. That guy's a fucking
Yeah,
star.
there's nothing you can do to stop Embiid, but I know exactly what you're saying. There's a point that you're going to slow him down, and he's a big guy, and you're going to tire him out. You can't run the offense through him every single play. It's just not feasible. It's just not how basketball works. It's never worked like that.
They need to figure out an identity because and they need to figure out who they are. When Embiid isn't playing as well, because there's a very real possibility that Joel Embiid gets hurt at some point this year, and he'll be out for 4 to 8 weeks, which he's pretty much good for every year. And it cost him an MVP last year, so it's They need to figure a lot of stuff out. And the experiment with Tyrese Maxey at point guard 1 that's all fine and dandy because you really got no other option. So you're kind of just like, all right, kid, go out there and try not to fuck up. So that's where I'm at with the Sixers right now. I have zero expectations. I guess that's not true. I guess they'll probably be like a 5 seed or something.
That's about what I'm thinking. That's about what I'm thinking now. If this team is somehow elevated without Ben Simmons on the roster, if Tyrese Maxey grows into the point guard 1 everybody thinks he is, not everybody. A lot of people don't think he is, myself included. I think he's an excellent 2 guard. I agree. Like imagine if we had Kyle Lowry at the 1, Tyrese Maxey at the 2, Seth at the 3, Danny at the 4. No, Danny at the bench. Fuck that.
Danny on the bench.
Danny on the bench, Tobias at the 4, and Joel Embiid at the 5. That's a team. It's just that we're because Tyrese is a walking bucket. He can get to the basket at will, and his passing is good, but he's just not a floor general. That's just not. Now, can he develop into that? Yeah, but I just don't want us to put too much pressure on him too early, just like we did with Shake Milton. Try to have him run the point in the playoffs, and it just doesn't work. Just not it. And if anything, it crushes your confidence. So I just hope that either Tyrese can become that point guard that I think that he wants to be, and that a lot of people want him to be, but I don't know. I haven't seen enough yet to make the call on whether or not that's possible, but I absolutely am not ruling it out. After a few games earlier in the year when we weren't scoring, I know earlier in the year it's 3 weeks, but a couple weeks ago when we were scoring 1 point in the last 5 minutes, I'm like, all right, we need somebody that can effing facilitate. But after blowing out the Hawks revenge game on Saturday, and then stepping up big time this week against the Bulls and who did we play? I already talked about it. The Trailblazers on Monday.
Yep.
Tyrese is starting to fill that role a little more. Now, is he going to be able to do that down the stretch when, the cream starts to rise to the top, when contenders really start to, show themselves? If the Sixers are in that race, is he going to be able to keep us there? Or is Daryl Morey going to have to look elsewhere too? Because, look, if this team isn't good enough to win a title, and Daryl Morey knows that before the trade deadline, there is no excuse to not go out and make the team better, regardless of what you have to do. I'm done. I've actually completely moved on from the process. Love our young guys. Fuck them. They're assets now. I'm done. I'm like that. That's the thing is that, and I love them. Matisse, adorable, so cute. I went off on him last episode. I just needed that one thing. You just get it off my chest, and now we're cool again. Tyrese, love him. Isaiah Joe, the Golden Sun. Paul Reed, out the mud. Love these guys. But if we can get a star and actually go win and compete for a fucking chip, I would rather that than, oh, look, this guy that I liked when we picked him in at 20 overall panned out. I'm such a good basketball mind. That's half of Sixers Twitter. That's half of what these guys are. They're just like, oh, yeah, I'm getting behind this rookie and he's going to become a superstar. And then, they cycle through him every 3 years because they always blow.
Yeah, dude, I hate Sixers Twitter more than anything in the world.
Dude, it's embarrassing. It's embarrassing.
I'm this close to muting whatever the keyword is for the Sixers.
Sixers.
The only reason I don't is because I got to get my news somehow about the Sixers.
It's like there are guys out there that know basketball, guys and girls and all kinds of people that know basketball out there on Twitter. It's just for some reason all the fucking morons show up on my timeline. Is it like? I don't know what it is. I don't follow any of these people, and they just show up, and I'm like, will you just be gone from me? Will you get this brain rot off of my timeline? I don't care that you think Jaden Springer is going to be a nice piece in 5 years. Joel Embiid is 28 years old. I can't sit around and wait for Jaden Springer to be an effective NBA player. I might have a kid in 5 years. Not intentionally, but it might happen. You never know. Statistically speaking, it can happen.
Yeah. I agree.
It's just not worth. I'm done sitting waiting around. But now I'll give Tyrese some time because he earned it in the playoffs.
True.
He earned it in the playoffs last year. So Tyrese, take the season. Let's see what you can do. I want you on this team. I want all these guys to be the best player they can be, and I do want them all to be a part of a championship-winning team here in Philly.
Yeah.
But
you know what I hate most about Sixers Twitter that's completely non-basketball related. So everybody on Sixers Twitter, everybody on Sixers Twitter feels the need, whoever thinks they're a Sixers connoisseur, right? To put Sixers and then their name right after.
So cringe.
Sixers, and I'm completely pulling this out of my ass right now. Sixers Daniel, Sixers Teresa. Like,
if there was a Sixers Daniel, I would swing. I would swing on. I don't care if he was. He could be 6'5", 250, just rock hard muscle, and I'd be like, you know what? I'm going to take my lumps because Sixers Daniel is stupid. I will get my ass kicked for the cause. I hate that. I think it's so cringy. I'm like, do you work for the team? Are you part of the ownership group? Are you in the front office? You can put Sixers in your bio. Fuck it. Everybody does that. I don't care. But in your name, in your handle, it's cringe, dude. It's excessively cringe. And it's like, okay. It's like you're going to put the basketball team that you root for before your own name. Like,
what are we doing?
No.
What
are we doing today?
So crazy.
Seamus G saying he saw #1 Yang Gang Stan. He had one 20-point game. And people are creaming their fucking jeans over this guy. It's like, relax. Oh my God.
I barely even know who he is.
Can you be? Be an adult. Oh my God.
I had to here's I mean, and we all know I don't do basketball, right? I had to ask Seamus G in the private chat what Niang's first name was.
I can't even tell you how to pronounce it.
I don't even know.
Is it George's?
George's.
George's?
It's like freaking
George.
It's like Jagary and Gary, Nathan Gary all over again. It pisses me off. He's like he's on the field all the time.
One door and the other.
Yeah.
Fuck.
On the field all the time, and nobody knows what the hell he's doing there. And it's just get these guys out of Philly. Like I don't want these guys. Like I can't even say their name.
Here's the thing. I really like Georges Niang. I like his game. I think he was a great pickup, and I think the value we got was good. And I think he can continue to develop. It's just not a lot of people know who he is because nobody watches Jazz games except for me. I like to watch them play, but on the league pass. But yeah, no. Can we stop idolizing role players in this city? Can we stop? Now Andre Drumdog Millionaire, courtesy of Seamus G. That little line there. That's a different story because he's a starting caliber center in the NBA. Now maybe average. So having him as our backup 5 is huge. Best backup 5, Joe. And he's not a moron like Dwight Howard. Can we? All right. Yeah. So now that Dwight's not here, can we all agree he's like the dumbest person in the league?
So stupid. Even I saw that.
Led the league in texts coming off the bench. How fucking dumb are you?
Yeah. Tough luck.
We're not getting into the. We're not talking about Kyrie. We're not talking about Kyrie tonight.
No.
Not tonight. Not tonight. But I mean, hey, man. Hey, Sixers playing tomorrow night against the Pistons. That's a dub. So go on Park Sportsbook. Use code WOLVES69. WOLVES69. Deposit $25. Bet it all on the Sixers. Bankroll. That's how you make bankroll. Bet on the Sixers against the Pistons. We're winning that game. I'm sorry. What?
Yeah, pretty much.
I'm sorry. What? Jeremy Grant and Cade Cunningham versus a literal MVP. I'm sorry. Make your money work for you. Wolf 69. Park Sportsbook. Get it done. Awesome. All right. So it's about time. It's about time for a little something, Sam.
For a little
stick talk. A little stick talk. And I love that Seamus G, if you're watching live, I love that Seamus G left us here in the banners. So I threw it up for him. Seamus G, get in here. We're talking a little hockey.
There he is.
Coming out from behind the glass for the first time in God knows how long. Peekaboo, you son of a bitch.
How we doing,
James G? We're doing great. The Flyers are off to a hot start this year. Well, let's talk to us, man. Clue us in.
First off the rip, I just need to talk about this retro jacket that they give to the player of the game. It's amazing. It's a beautiful jacket, and I need it now. I need it ASAP Rocky Niner. Like, it has to be in my fucking closet. All right. So, Carter Hart and Mr. Jones, I forget his first name.
Martin.
Martin, that's what it is.
Yes.
Martin Jones. They have been, well done. They have been amazing. Like, they have been outstanding. The reason that this team is 5-2-1, and it's last night against the worst team in the league, the Arizona Coyotes, and Shane Gostisbehere, we came away with a 3-0 dub, which was huge. And Carter Hart got his third career shutout. Like, it's big. The goalies, honestly, for me, have been the story. The second story, though, Cam Jam Atkinson. Let me talk about this, dude. This guy is a shoot first mentality, and we just haven't seen this on the Flyers in God knows how long. And the other addition that we have, Ryan Ellis, has been hurt. He'll be back soon. And then the third addition, Rasmus Ristolainen, he is a bruiser. And I want to see him lay out Sid the Kid so badly. However, Friday when we play the Penguins, he is hurt.
It's Friday night, you said?
Hurt. Friday night at 7.
Friday night. Go on Park Sportsbook.
Park Sports.
Code Wolf69. Bet
Wolf
on the Flyers.
Money line.
Bet your life savings on the Flyers. Do it.
All right. So up to $500 risk-free bet if you
up to.
All right.
Up to. You don't just get $500, you fucking sickos.
Like, what are we thinking? No free lunches.
Just get $500.
I don't know.
You got a business to run.
Yeah. Also, I'm having fun watching the power play.
Yep.
Like, it's fun to watch the power play again. And like, I haven't seen a power play this smooth from the Flyers in half a decade. Like, seriously, in half a decade. Like, with Keith Yandel running the point, we had Provorov last night running the point. It was okay, but they made two different changes. They put Atkinson on the first line, and they put Provorov instead of having, I don't know. But Sean Couturier and Giroux have been money together. Travis Konechny as well on that line have been awesome. And it's just, it's been fun to watch. I think we're like only 10th in power play, like percentage. Like, we had like close to 25%. However, we look good every single time we're on the power play, which is just so different. It's not like we're just shooting and hoping it goes in. Like, the bank passes, dude, from Giroux behind.
That was dirty. I haven't seen like fluid play. Like, every time the Flyers have or at least the past couple seasons, from what I've seen, the Flyers on the power play, it just looks like having the extra man almost gets like, it's almost like they get in their way.
Yeah,
they get like each other's way
for a ricochet.
Yeah, but they look like they have a plan, and they're going in and they're trying to execute it, and they're actually, I mean, even though, like you said, 10, I'm assuming if they're 10th in the league in power play efficiency, that's probably 10 spots better than last year.
Oh, 100%
or more.
Yeah, our power play was booty.
One of the worst in the league, and then our penalty kill wasn't that much better.
No, our penalty kill was like bottom of the barrel.
Yeah,
and we've been pretty good on the power play or the penalty kill. What I do want to highlight is this Oilers game. I don't know if you guys watched it at all, but
I did.
Literally, Connor McDavid is the best hockey player in the world right now, and like, we didn't have to shut him down, but we shut everybody else down to give us a dub, and we are their only loss. So all I'm saying is we are a very good hockey team. We're scrappy. It's a lot of fun. And as long as we keep shooting the puck, which is much better because we added Cam Atkinson, who has a shoot-first mentality, and traded away Jake Voracek, who was pass first. Like, it's just it's been a complete change in mentality. We don't even have Ryan Ellis or Kevin Hayes right now. And those are
Hazy. That's my favorite player.
I know.
Minus
Two
Travis
premier,
Konecny.
Yeah. I mean, one of the best gifts of the month from Travis Konecny, where he
so
he
great.
just goes at a guy. He's like terrific. He is
That's
hilarious.
Awesome. So Carter Hart and Travis Konecny both decided to show up this year. That's pretty cool.
It's nice.
What's the difference?
The difference for Carter Hart is honestly the guys he has in front of him make a huge difference. Like, your goalie can only be as good as your defense, because if your goalie's left out to dry, he's not going to save everything. Like, I know guys like Ray Ferraro and Jonesy on the broadcast, like, they always looked to the goalie a little bit more. I was a goalie growing up in every sport I played, so I always am a goalie apologist. So I'm just a goalie apologist, and the fact that we have people like veterans like Keith Yandel and Ristolainen, he may still be in his 20s, but he started playing in the NHL when he was 18 years old. He's almost a decade into his career in the NHL. And then we added Ryan Ellis. All of these guys are veterans coming in, and our defense was horrible last year.
Yeah.
We talked about the penalty kill and just giving up 3-on-2s, 2-on-1s, 1-on-0s, 2-on-0s. It was like Carter Hart was in front of a firing squad. It was unbelievable.
There was a point we had to just be like, dude, you know what? We can't even play you anymore because we don't want to ruin your confidence in yourself because you're just getting raw dogged every night.
Yes, exactly.
I mean, they had Sanheim poking holes in the condom. It's not good.
Sanheim's been a little bit better this year.
He has been better.
The biggest, I think it's his line pairing it's so crucial for him. But also, Braun has been filling in for Ellis to pair with Provorov, and Braun's been pretty good for somebody who's I think he's 34 years old. And if you think about what hockey players do year in and year out, being a 34-year-old hockey player, it
can't be easy.
You're lucky to move.
You're lucky to move, yeah.
So I've had a lot of fun. Hopefully we can get the Liberty on here soon. If not, I don't know when. Whenever it works with them, when it works with us, that'd be great.
Absolutely.
But yeah, love their podcast. Shout out to Wolves of Broadst. Buy a t-shirt.
Gang, gang.
Gang. Gang.
Gang. And he's back behind the glass.
There he goes. Yep.
Seamus G coming in with the little stick talk interlude. I dig it. It was nice to, get some Flyers talk. Get some actual intelligent Flyers talk on the pod other than just me and Sam sitting here going, hey, man, Flyers, dude. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
dude,
they look great.
Hey, man, did you see they played? I actually didn't know. I actually had no idea.
Yeah.
No, but
it's good to hear that, and my only worry is that we'll just from reading history is that hopefully they just don't fall apart, on the second half of the year, which is normally what they do. But because I thought that we were thinking the same things last year, they looked great. They came firing out of the gun, and then Carter Hart was looking good, and then something just happened. A switch flipped, and they just started to suck. So it's just the Philly sports fan in me. I don't know.
That's the way it goes.
Yeah, who cares?
Yeah. Well, Sam, seems our time here is just about up. Do you have anything else to add for the good people, or?
Well, there was some Phillies news today. If you want to,
I mean, is Odubel Herrera and Andrew McCutchen leaving really that big a deal? I'm kidding.
Well, I don't know. I just feel like
it's worth mentioning.
It's worth mentioning. So, Odubel Herrera and Andrew McCutchen are no longer Phillies.
Good.
Yeah,
I don't care. Fuck it.
Yep. And well,
Ryan, guys.
Yeah, they are. I mean, I am glad that we're going to try and move in another direction with an outfield, because we have to build an outfield that's it's conducive to the lineup, which Kutch was great here and there, but he's an old man. He's a geezer at this point. So it's and Odubel Herrera is the most inconsistent baseball player I've ever seen in my life. So yeah, that's pretty much it. I guess the Braves won the World Series. Another NL East opponent. People say that the NL East is so trash, but the 2 out of the last 3 World Series have been NL East teams, which is interesting. Because you got the Washington Nationals, and then it was the Dodgers, and then you got the Braves. So
perfect. Yeah,
awesome. Just waiting for the Phillies to maybe make something. Again, just do something. Since Seamus G is popping in here with the chat, since 2003, every team in the NL East has won a World Series besides the Mets, which is
love
hilarious.
that. Fine with me.
Mm-hmm. I'm assuming that 2003 team was the Marlins because they haven't won shit since.
That
There it
indeed
is.
the Marlins, yes. In like year 3 of existence, they somehow pulled a chip out of their ass.
Yeah.
They went back to back, and then it's just been ass.
It's
been so bad.
Yeah. So bad. All right, that's pretty much
So
it.
bad.
I was glad to
right.
see. I like Freddie Freeman. I know I'm going to get shit for that, but I like Freddie Freeman. I'm glad
He's a good guy, man.
Yeah, glad he got a
Good guy.
ring. No more though. No more winning for the Braves. They had their time. Now I'm back on hating on the Braves. I just didn't want the Astros to win again, which is what happened, which is good. So,
oh yeah.
With that being said, thank you everybody so much for listening to this episode of the Wolves of Broad Street podcast. My name is Sam Glavin, and joining me today was Ryan Conway, and with a little bit of stick talk from Seamus G. And of course, check out that discount code Wolves69 on the Parks Casino Sportsbook app. Buy a t-shirt, follow us on Twitter and all the social media stuff at Wolves Abroad ST. Follow me at Sam Glavin06, at Ryan Conway 76, and at Shamelessly SG. I got that one right this time, which is pretty cool. Seamus, follow the Liberty Line at Liberty Line PHL and check out the website, thelibertyline.com, and buy a freaking shirt. Seamus G, close us down.